NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the Brits at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Where my people at. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the last honest place in America. And the most superlative talk show in the country. No, scratch that, the world. Broadcasting from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. Your morning destination for interesting conversation. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. Good morning, my friends. How are you? Good morning to you. I wonder what we'll talk about today. Not so sure. Well, in case you missed it, the Bengals made some noise living up to starting quarterback Joe Burrow's words. He said, look, we want to make some noise in AFC Championship. And damn it, if it ain't true, they made some noise. The Bengals are on their way to the Super Bowl. Wow. Try that on. The Bengals are on their way to the Super Bowl. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's so true. We got a chance to watch the game yesterday as a family, and I'm dressed for a workout after the show. We got a chance to watch the game. It was a lot of fun. I was actually working. I got a project I've been struggling with for the last couple of weeks. I'm working on that. And then I was working on Melanin Insights, the lovely ladies of Melanin Insights. Where you at, Cass? Cass out here talking about, I want the Bengals to lose in the Super Bowl, and I don't even care who they play. I'm like, what? Who is this woman? Who are you? But it was a great show nonetheless. Check out that podcast. Good morning to you. Can you believe that the Cincinnati Bengals are on the way to the Super Bowl? Oh, man, it's going to be a hell of a show. Because, you know, this year's Super Bowl, they've been touting and promoting. It's going to be like the biggest halftime ever with Dr. Dre and Eminem and Kendrick Lamar and the chick that can't dance and Snoop. Mary J. That lightsaber meme, though, when she was dancing is everything. So can you believe that during that Super Bowl halftime, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be playing a game, and they got as good a shot as anybody else to win. I'll say it again. Anytime you're in the race, you got a chance to win. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody tell you what your limitations are. Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work. Be a star in your position. If you're part of a team, be the GOAT at whatever you do. If your job is to do whatever it is for the team, then be the best whatever that is for your team. When everybody's got that mentality and they're also performing at that level, look at what can happen. That is quite amazing. I told they changed the uniforms. They changed those unis. I told you what I tell you. I'm looking for a slight variation in the near future, all black helmet. We'll see. But they changed those unis, and guess what? They're on their way to the Super Bowl. And they did what a lot of the television analysts said they could not do, which was they went into Arrowhead Stadium and they beat Patrick Mahomes, which it was day and night between the first half and the second half. I'm watching the game. I'm like, is anybody playing defense out here? It seems like the defense was flaccid, very soft. Second half, Hall knew everything. They're coming out here shutting people down. Patrick Mahomes QBR rating and everything that relates to a quarterback statistically went straight down the second half. And then McPherson, and now people are running and scrambling to come up with nicknames. They're calling him Money McPherson. He just looks like, the little guy next door. Like, you're a football player? And he's not just a football player, but a damn good football player. It just goes to show you that you got to be excellent in all three phases of the football game, right? Special teams. If you look at the special teams and the kickers in particular for both of the teams, the LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And I believe the LA Rams are going to have a little bit of an advantage because they're going to be playing in their home stadium. What the hell? Like, if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, this would have been the hardest route ever because you got all these away playoff games you got to play. You got to go into Arrowhead where the AFC Championship has been played for the last 4 years straight and beat the new team of the decade, the Kansas City Chiefs. And then once you get to the Super Bowl, if they beat the LA Rams, they got to beat them in their home stadium. If the Bengals win, this will be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, postseason shows you've ever seen. And I feel the same way as I've always felt. They got a shot. They got a shot. Game balls go out to all of the Bengal fans because you've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm so happy for my Bengal friends, my Bengal fan friends. Y'all been putting the energy in and buying season tickets and sticking with the team and all this kind of stuff, buying jerseys when they was trash. I jumped off the bandwagon because I can't waste my time with losers. I can't do it. Always support the home team, but in terms of my time, like giving it my time, watching the game, I let it for all that. Rudy Tootie. Remember when Rudy Tootie was out there? Y'all called him the Red Rifle. I called him Rudy Tootie. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible football. The Marvin Lewis years. And now they're in the freaking Super Bowl. It's still surreal and quite crazy. So, have fun with that. But game balls go out to Zach Taylor and his staff, all the Bengal players, all the Bengals, all the people that support the Bengals. Game balls for everybody out there. And damn it, if they pass out any more game balls in the city to bars and/or bar restaurants, make sure you go to at least one Black-owned establishment. Damn it. Get it right. Good morning to you. Can you believe it? It's hard to believe. But this goes to show that you can do anything. You can change your life in a year. As I said before, you can change your whole trajectory in a year. Look what the Bengals just did. So, yes, it was a lot of fun to watch that. And it'll be a lot of fun to watch the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Like, we always turn it on, but it's not really always like the center of my attention, right? We'll watch it for like the halftime show. It'll be on in the background while we're doing different stuff. And then, as I told you, the Super Bowl will always be something that is a milestone for me because I had a heart attack Super Bowl Sunday 2 years ago. So on the 2nd of February, that'll be 2 years since a heart attack. Almost died. So it'll always be a place, a way for me to mark the passage of time. So should be a lot of fun. Gives you a reason to watch the Super Bowl now if you're a Cincinnati-based person. Should be a lot of fun. It was weird. I saw Ickey Woods. I'm like, look at Ickey. He gave the trophy to Mike Brown. I thought that what Mike Brown had to say, I thought was very gracious. He said, look, there's a lot of good teams out there, and they could be in my spot. I thought he was a very gracious winner. You got to lose graciously and win graciously. You got to have class. When you lose big, have class. When you win big, have class. Ain't no thing no damn more. But I thought the Bengals, they showed a lot of class. I thought that, it was exciting. It was exciting to see the hometown team up there. And so we'll see what happens after this. We'll see what happens. I mean, can they beat the LA Rams? Yes. Is it going to be difficult? Hell yes. It's going to be difficult. But, yeah, they can. We can see it. The game was looking bad. They got down by 18. I want to give a game ball to Andy Reid. You might be thinking, Andy Reid, wait, Nate, why are you giving him a game ball? He was he's the opposing coach's, he's the opposing team's coach. That's right. But his blunder right before the half opened the door for the team to win. Instead of going for a guaranteed 3 points, they tried to get greedy and go for all of it with a little shuttle pass to Tyree Hill to the flat. He didn't make it. Time expires. I remember thinking, like, what in the hell? I just knew they were going to get 3 points out of it. They got nothing out of it. Blunders, big mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, Joe Burrow made a mistake when he underthrew that route to Jamar Chase. QB was able to jump the route. Boom, he undercutted it. Bow. I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. But Patrick Mahomes made a lot of mistakes. So the cardiac Bengals, you know what I'm saying, give you a damn heart attack, but they keep coming back as a second half team. Second half, it was a whole different team. Or I should say it felt like a whole different energy. It wasn't a whole different team, but it felt like a whole different energy. When Uzama, is that his name? The tight end went out. I'm like, oh boy. But the tight end behind him ain't too shabby. He ain't bad. So, teamwork makes the dream work. And that's what we're seeing. Nobody could have predicted this except for the diehard Bengals who say the Bengals going to Super Bowl this year every year. Like the Bengals have no shot of going, but you got some diehards out there and you got to love your diehards. And they're like, nah, my team going to Super Bowl this year, right? Those people, the people that like to bet on long odds and have the money to do so, only a few people could have predicted this at any point during the season. Like nobody saw this coming. Like, be honest, you saw this coming. You saw this coming. And I didn't see this coming. I thought once I knew they were going to make the playoffs, I thought they had a good shot of winning a playoff game. And each and every game, I felt the same way. They got a good shot. Tennessee, they got a good shot, right? They got a good shot. We'll see what happens. Even against KC, my thoughts is that I thought KC was going to win just because of all the statistics. But I always knew that the Bengals had a shot. Came through. So whatever you got to do to enjoy this moment, we need a lot of good, we need fun. Everything's so damn heavy. We need a lot of fun. Sometimes you want to just relax and just laugh and just enjoy the world. Enjoy it. Daryl writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Good morning to you, Daryl. Chris writes, good morning. Mike writes, who MFing day? Daryl writes, who day? Pat writes, good morning, Choppers. Super Bowl bound, who day? Charles writes, Grand Rising in the Choppers, who day? All the haters and paid analysts got it all wrong about the Bengals. Watching them eat crow with a side of humble pie is nothing less than hilarious. That is a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun to watch the analyst, and they got to take their words back, and they're saying all these great things about Cincinnati, and the word Cincinnati is no longer a laughing stock. In fact, people are like showing a lot of like respect and shit. That is fun. I will give you that. That is fun. Keisha's in the house. She writes, Grand Rising's name the Choppers, who day? Anthony writes, Bengals bowl bound baby. Hashtag we did that ish. Bengals bowl bound baby. Damn, you say that 5 times every morning. Regina writes, good morning, all. Anthony writes, like and share, fam. Angela's in the house. She writes, salutations. I'm rooting for everybody black and the orange and black. I'm with you on that one. Mike writes, Mike B, that OG. What, Mike B? What up? What up, Mike B? It's been a minute, man. TNT writes, good morning, who day? Cruther writes, good morning, Chopper. Still a Steelers fan. You darn Steeler fans. Finally. I want the Bengals to win for several reasons, and near the top of that list is people like you, Cruther. Yeah, damn Steeler fans, always holding your little trinkets over our heads. Well, there's a new sheriff in town now. Tanika, where is damn Cass at? Where's Cass at this morning? Tanika writes, good morning, ain't the Choppers. Who day? Charles writes, nah, don't sound crazy. It sounds legit. It's wild, man. Like, we were stunned. Like, my wife, my son, my daughter, they just went over the top with it. They was like with bated breath and screaming. I was in the home studio getting ready. Like I said, I got a project I've been struggling with for the last couple of weeks, so working on that. And at the same time, getting ready for Melanin Insights. And so I'm listening to them like during the game. I was watching the game on my phone with the NFL app. You can watch it for free if you didn't know. And no subscription necessary, anything like that. You just get the app. Boom, there it is. That's how it worked for me. And I'm hearing them just like all these different, they're just right. You can hear, like their voices are rising and falling with the turn of events during the game, right? So it was a lot of fun, man. You got to have fun sometime in life. Kelly writes, good morning, who day? Lemmy writes, good morning. Jerome writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Lemmy writes, who day. Gladys writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers, beautiful Monday. Tracy writes, hi. Mike writes, who day. Lemmy writes, we are winners, who day. Anthony writes, they have a chance. Stafford can be shook. RD should be ready to eat. It's just going to be wild because leading from now up until the Sunday of the Super Bowl, only the last two teams get all of the focus of the sports world. And one of those teams is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals, right? And the LA Rams have a formidable team. They got a formidable defense. But so do a lot of teams. And so I'll say it again, the Bengals have as good a shot as anybody else. Who else would have a better shot? You can't say KC because the Bengals just beat them twice this year. So it's not a fluke. Just think about that. They beat KC at home, then travel and beat KC on the road. That's huge. That's huge. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I will say this. Consistency is the hallmark of greatness. Consistency. You got a whole lot of flash in the pan, so the teams, they make it 1 year, next year, never hear from them again. They never make it back to the playoffs. So you got to enjoy this. But consistency is the hallmark of greatness. So no matter what happens in the Super Bowl, what the Bengals do next year and the years after that will say a lot about what we have here. Is this a flash in the pan? No real major injuries, soft schedule, maybe taking some people by surprise. Things kind of go your way. Team is special, it gels. Or is this the beginnings of the Bengals being a serious AFC championship contender for the next few years? We shall see. You know how it is. They got all them weapons. Them weapons is expensive. You know how this works. They on rookie contracts now. When them rookie contracts come up, everybody 1,000 yards, shit, we want to get paid. And you know what that means? Got to make some concessions. Who we going to keep? Who we going to pay? Who we not going to pay? Somebody goes to another team. Now you're breaking up the Three Musketeers. You're breaking up the A team. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself, but again, consistency is the hallmark of greatness. Anybody can do something for a little small amount of time, but can you be great for years and years and years, right? Can you be great at what you do for years and years and years? That's the difference. We shall see. Charles writes, it was a personal challenge. No, it was a personnel change more than a uniform change, but go off. The uniforms definitely, they never would have got to the Super Bowl with those ugly ass. Now, I know it's only been a slight variation, but you could definitely tell a difference. The uniforms made a difference, Charles. Don't try to discredit my theory. Mike writes, a black helmet with orange stripes would be dope. Thank you, Mike. It's going to be the dopest thing ever. Watch. And they will do it. Watch. Deborah writes, who day? Crystal writes, good morning. Now, if they go black helmets, dynasty. Kush writes, good morning, Nate, in the Mighty Choppers. Tiffany writes, good morning. I'm wondering, we talking about the Bengals in the championship. We got a lot of student athletes and maybe high school and collegiate athletes. Anybody in the audience ever win any kind of like athletic championship or maybe in high school or college? I'm just curious. I thought it out there. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag team and I, who day. I also want to talk about this new Cosby documentary. There's a brand new Cosby documentary. Why is people making Cosby documentaries? Leave Cosby alone, right? Or it's kind of like, you know what? Cosby deserves all of this. It's on Showtime. And I want to talk about it because it's bringing out the crazy talk. We must discuss it maybe a little later in the show. Tiffany writes, I call him Sharpshooter McPherson. If between Sharpshooter McPherson and Money McPherson, I think I would take Money McPherson. But I'm with you on that. He seems to be a real talent. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome. Fame.
It's wonderful. It's Fame Rothstein here. I did say that very same thing on my what's the name of that Bluebird Twitter? I said the very same thing. Like last week, I said the Bengals are going to go to the Super Bowl because Kansas City is spent. They spent too much emotion in beating Buffalo. They have nothing left. They're going to come out very hyped up in the first half, but they'll fade in the second half, and voila, nailed it. So yeah, I just want to say hooday to everyone. It does feel great actually, feeling this, experiencing this as an adult. It's one thing as a I think I was 12 at the time, 12 or 13, when they went to the Super Bowl last time, but now it just feels different as an adult. You know what I mean?
I can get with that. Yeah, I think I understand.
Shout out to Tracy. I was told I had to send her a shout out for what she did over the weekend. She helped the brother out tremendously, and thank you to her and all her people that helped. I want to talk about the what is that called? The intermission, the halftime. If you ask me, D. Barnes needs to fall back. Every goddamn time Dr. Dre does something significant, she comes out here talking about what happened in 1991. Her and her fans, babe, you just want a bigger pound of flesh off the guy. He's gotten paid since then. Things have changed for him, and you just want a bigger pound of flesh. It's over with. You were paid. You were paid a settlement. It's over with. The guy moved on. You need to move on. You and your fans. We're not going to keep rehashing that every time he does something significant. You don't get to be a footnote of it every time. If your fans want to make a footnote, that's one thing, but even they need to fall back on sometime. But you need to be an adult.
What happened?
I'm sorry?
What happened? Did she say something recently?
Oh, hell, every time. And then, yeah, she started waxing poetic about it this time on social media again. Every single time. It's gotten old, D. We heard for you. We're sorry that it happened to you. But hey, the guy moved on. You can't keep holding that on him.
No, she can't.
Even if he went to jail, which he didn't. Even if he went to jail, he's done his time. You can't keep holding on it.
Nah,
you can't keep doing that to him.
Nah, you're wrong about that. She can. She can hold on to that too as long as she needs to.
No, no, she can't. No, she cannot.
And she should.
No, she cannot. He's
wrong.
done.
You're wrong. Now, you might say that you don't care about what he did to her, but you can't tell this woman that was traumatized, like he beat her up pretty viciously, that she just needs to get over it. I think that's unfair.
It's been 30 years. It's been 30 years.
It was 100 years ago. It don't matter.
It's been 30 years,
it was
hon.
in this
it's
lifetime.
Been 30 years.
It was in her lifetime.
Put your big panty girls on. Put your big panty girls on. Put your big girl panties on and let it go.
Nah.
Or quit crying about it all the goddamn time.
Nah.
You don't get to keep. You don't keep the. You're just mad because he's a billionaire now. At the time, he was. At the time, he was in a jacked up contract. Probably wasn't even getting no money, and that's all she wants is a bigger pound of flesh. That's all.
She probably deserves a bigger pound of flesh. Quite honestly, she probably deserves it. You know what I'm saying?
No, she does not. She settled in.
The culture's been cruel to her. Just listen to what you're saying about her right now. You're so wrong, but you got a problem with black women. So I'm seeing
I have a problem. Yes, I have a problem with bullshit. Whether it's black women, I don't care.
Here's another example of it. She got every right to speak her piece.
Yes.
He beat her up viciously. She's probably traumatized for life. We live in a culture where as long as you make sick beats and you coming up with products, it don't matter what you do to other people. So the culture just moved on. And she's sitting here like, nah, this man ain't nothing to be applauded and respected. He's a serial abuser. So I get.
I think she's an asshole. I think she's an asshole, and needs to let it go. I'm sorry. It's been 30 years, hon. The man's got grandkids now.
So how long does it take to get over being beaten up by a man as a woman? Like, how is it 25 years? Is it 15 years? Like, what?
I don't know. I don't know how long it takes to get over that. However, I think she's in over I just think she's being an asshole.
Nah.
And just
You
trying to latch on to him.
women. That's
You
all
know,
that is.
she used to be on Pump It Up. Her show didn't live very long. You know, she got paid. She got to do what she needed to do. The thing's over with. You cannot keep bringing that out on him.
Yes, she can. And the reality
Apparently,
is that we as the media needs to be talking about this, but because he's Dr. Dre,
they talk about it every time. They talk about it when he's so deep.
And because he was with NWA, and he makes beats for Eminem and 50 Cent, and he makes us happy and dance. We're doing the same thing with him that we did to R. Kelly until it was just too much evidence that we couldn't turn away from. It's like we don't really care, and it's sad, quite honestly.
Well, no, the two don't equate. R. Kelly was dealing with children. R. Kelly was dealing with children, and Dr. Dre was a one-off with her.
It equates perfectly in the sense that we're talking about big-time entertainers that have abused women, abused females, and as long as they produce creative works that we like, we just turn a blind eye to it. Like, well, I'm gonna keep stepping in the name of love. We do the same thing with Dr. Dre. So,
Dr. Dre, Andre Young, committed a bad act, and he paid for it. That's all. What, we gonna keep jamming on him?
Yeah, I mean, she can. Yeah.
I'm talking. Okay, well then, what about her fan? What about every time it comes out? Every time, whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it was the movie Straight Outta Compton, whether it was the sale of beats, whatever it is, she wants to feel like she's a part of Dr. Dre's legacy and everything. Baby, you gotta let it go.
I think you're reading more into
it.
If you need
some help,
is that the sister was traumatized, and trauma is a lifelong thing. She'll probably never.
I couldn't agree less. I couldn't agree less. I couldn't. No, I'm sorry. I couldn't agree more. I should say. I couldn't agree more. That she probably is traumatized. That's why there's plenty of people that can help her. Dr. Dre's moved on, hon. That fish is back in the sea. It's over. Let it go. You don't get to keep bringing that about him.
Yeah, she do. She can.
You know. So, but who they again to the folks and man,
you owe Zach Taylor,
it's been real.
I think you owe Zach Taylor another apology.
I don't think I do, and here's why. I heard you say that. You know, it's been a while since I spoke with you. You know, because I was busy and whatnot. I heard you speak about that. You know, once again, it just proves that they don't have to be there for him to be the damn table setter of the show. You talking about everything you talked about that I wasn't aware that week or wasn't available to speak that week. You're talking about. It's like, damn. You know, can't Beard come up with something and talk about something with him in it? He very there. Don't do shit.
You're deflecting. You owe Zach Taylor an apology. Period.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
He got lightning. I think he got lightning in a bottle. Burrow was hurt as a rookie. That allowed them to draft what's his name, Jamar Chase, because they were so bad. They got another top rookie. They got another high pick, and that allowed them to do that. And again, just like I said, another cat. I think what it is with Zach Taylor is that, you know, these players, they're still young and they're still at that age where they find white people to be exciting, and that's all. You know, I need to see you do it again next year. I think you got. I think you called lightning in a bottle. That's all. Mm-hmm. Let me see you do that again. You know,
I gave you an opportunity, but you don't want to take the man's route. That's fine.
Listen, can you let me finish? What's his name? The quarterback for Baltimore. He got hurt twice. Never played him all year. We didn't play against him two times this year. Big Ben is old. He called lightning in a bottle. I need to see you do it again. You might do it. He might. But then again, it might not. You just asked the same question. What are you talking about? You just asked the same gosh darn question.
Well, I gave you an opportunity, brother, to take the high road, the man's route. You're not going to take it. I appreciate your flows, though.
It's always a goddamn pleasure.
Yes, it is. Appreciate you. You heard me. I gave my opportunity to take the man's route. He said no. You talked all that ish about Zach Taylor. Nobody named Zach can lead men. Remember this? You talked about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow can't make all the throws. That was before I was watching the games. I had no reference point. I'm like, really? Nah, he's a wash. Making all these excuses about how they got high draft picks. It's plenty of teams that get high draft picks every year and don't do ish with them. You got to give props are due. Now, as what you said about D Barnes, if D Barnes has a right, if Dr. Dre had the nerve to walk into that bathroom during that house party and put his hands on her, then for the rest of D Barnes' life, she got a lifetime pass to talk about Dr. Dre whenever she want to, period. And really, why is Dr. Dre in the Super Bowl doing the Super Bowl halftime show anyway, and he abuses women? He got a track record. Got two women. One was a love interest, Michelle A., and another woman was a reporter. He didn't do that shit to Dr. Dre because Dr. Dre would have to Ice Cube. That was some weakness. He beat up D Barnes because she did an interview with Ice Cube. And because he was mad with Ice Cube, he takes it out on D Barnes. What kind of man does that? What kind of man? I don't care if it was 100 years ago. It was within this lifetime. So D Barnes, in my opinion, got a right to go on Facebook and social media and talk that talk and say what she want to say whenever she want to. Now, everybody else has to make a decision as to whether they agree or want to follow or give any credence to whatever she has to say. But for me, I have no problem with it. She go in there every day and say what she want to say. Period. But that we got this celebrity worship culture where if you entertain me, then I start to create this image about you. And because you entertain me, that means so much to me that I'll give you a pass while you go out here and do heinous things. R. Kelly. R. Kelly was dirty for years. Everybody knew it, but nobody wanted to stop listening to his music because they like it. I'm not going to stop listening to R. Kelly. What kind of fucking man says some crazy stuff like that over some music? Over some music? I'm never going to stop listening to R. Kelly. That's my dude. Yeah, damn pedophile. You damn pedophile sympathizer, pedophile lover. Bill Cosby, who we'll talk about, you got this new documentary, people losing their minds. I watched this little video with Dr. Boyce Watkins on YouTube, and Dr. Boyce Watkins said the most incredibly crazy things. We got to talk about it, right? Same thing with Dr. Dre. As long as Dr. Dre come out with the hits, nobody really cares about what he did to Michelle A. Nobody really cares. As long as he keep making them hits, oh, man, still Dre? Oh, he working with Snoop? Oh, 50 Cent, Eminem. Oh, wow. He could. I don't care what he did. You know, that's how we are in our culture. It's sad and sick. It's very sad, very sick, but it's where we are. So I wouldn't care if they kick Dr. Dre. I don't give a damn about I said the halftime show, but I don't really care about the halftime show like that. It'll be something to watch. I could just as easily not watch it. I'm not going to lose any sleep. My life is not going to be any less or any better. It's just something to entertain me for a little bit till the game come back on. But some people, man, it's like they worship these celebrities to the point where they walk on water. They can do no wrong. Oh, Lordy, that was 30 years ago when he almost killed that woman and traumatized her, and she had PTSD for years and years and years after it. She should just get over it. What in the heck? She lucky she don't catch. Dr. Dre's lucky she don't catch up with his ass. You know what I'm saying? I would, chickens came home to roost. That's how I look at it. But what do you think? That's just me. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Good morning.
Hey, Nate. I went on your timeline this morning to see what time you came on, and I noticed yesterday you entered a couple of comments about the Bengals, and it's almost seemed like you almost there as a real fan. Are you like a true fan yet, or are you still?
I'm not a fan.
Not ready.
Like if it's like I'm a fan of like family and friends and things like that. I'm not like a fan kind of person. I'm my own fan.
Okay, well let me put it this way. Not let me take the word fan out. But are you now a true Bengal supporter?
I always support the home team.
Oh, okay.
I always support the home team.
Well, again, Mr. Ivey,
I saw something in Joe Burrow back when he was at LSU, and he had Jamar Chase, and then he had Justin Jefferson, who's now a wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. He was Rookie of the Year, and he was 1 year ahead of Jamar Chase. But when they did what they did to Alabama and they won the national championship, and the way Joe Burrow performed, I saw something in him. Then when he got to Cincinnati, like Fame said, shout out to Fame Rothstein and the Betting Public Sports Show. If you saw his show yesterday on YouTube, you got to the bag and you made some money. But I digress. And I noticed something in him because I refereed high school basketball out here in Southern California. And there was a team called the Modern Day Monarchs. And they had a player. And that player right now is playing for your Lakers. They signed him a couple of weeks to a 10-day contract, and they extended it to the rest of the year. And his name is Stanley Johnson. That young man, he won 4 state titles in a row. But when I referee, I saw something in him early on that said that this guy was a leader and he had championship aspirations. And he carried himself all the way through. He played 2 years at Arizona. But Stanley Johnson, he's just been a journeyman in the NBA, but his work ethic, you can see it now with the Lakers. And he was that way in high school, and I saw that in Joe Burrow. So the other part of that, when you have a guy like that, you need a leader. And I think Zach Taylor, who was part of the Sean McVay coaching tree, and Sean McVay, we all know, just got his second Super Bowl in 5 years as a young head coach. So I think, Mr. Ivey, the Bengals are a team of the future. But like you said earlier, the key is, will Cincinnati pay that money? And we don't know yet. You know the history better than I do, because maybe that's why back when they had Marvin Lewis, they couldn't go further than the first round because they refused to pay the money like the Pittsburgh Steelers did. So again, Mr. Ivey, shout out to all the true Cincinnati fans and the new Cincinnati supporters and the new fans, because I'm going to make a bold prediction right now that the Cincinnati Bengals will win Super Bowl 56. So shout out again to Cincinnati, and this is going to do wonders for your city. Cincinnati's on the come up. And again, listen to Fame Rothstein on the Betting Public Sports Show on YouTube, because the man knows sports. He may not like Zach Taylor, but the man knows sports, and you can win money if you follow him throughout the season. So on that note, Mr. Ivey, congratulations to the Bengals, and anybody coming out to California, y'all can stay in my crib. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for taking my call, Mr. Ivey. Peace out, bro.
Take it easy. Appreciate it. That's drop checking in. You know, my wife's family, my in-laws is from Cleveland. They called my wife yesterday and congratulated us. I'm like, why they congratulate us? I'm not on the team. We're not on the team. We don't get a check. We don't get a chance to touch the trophy, but that's just how people are, right? Browns fans are hating on us right now. You know what I'm saying? My wife's brother, my little brother, Will, if you watching Will, Houday, I was told that he was in his feelings, didn't want to return phone calls because they're Browns fans. You know, I never get too high or get too low about the stuff. That's what I tweeted once. And then the other thing I tweeted was Joe Burrow said we came to make some noise. He said we was coming to make some noise. They made some noise. So everybody's going to be talking about the Bengals today. So it should be a lot of fun if you watch that kind of sports entertainment. Here's what I want to know. Are the Bengals, is Hamilton County commissioners or this administrator? I mean, we had Alicia Reese on a couple of days ago, and she talked about how she was trying to, her idea was, and it came from voters, like citizens, was to open up Paul Brown Stadium during the game so that all the fans could go down there and they were interested in watch the game down there, right? Now, if you are one of the local bars, you probably don't like that idea, right? Because most of the fans that go to the bar will probably go down to Paul Brown Stadium, and that's going to cost the local bars money. So maybe that's the reason why they're not going to open it. But what I would say is you got 2 weeks now. They should have started working on it last week. That gives you plenty of time to get your ducks in a row so that when the Super Bowl is going on and we are confirmed now that the Bengals will be there, that Paul Brown Stadium will be open so you can have thousands of fans. You can do the cut scenes. That'll be great. As I was watching the AFC Championship, you know what they did? They did the cut scenes in the bars. So maybe it's the local bars who are like, wait a minute, you're going to cost us money. But what if you did a cut scene and you got 60,000 people or 50,000 people or 40,000 people at Paul Brown Stadium all enjoying the game on a Jumbotron or whatever, and, you know, whatever else is going down there. So we'll see if that happens. They should get that happening. And I know Cincinnati's not used to winning, so we don't know what to do when we win. We like, we won? What are we supposed to do now? Let's just take it every day, one day at a time. But they should certainly put that in place and take it to the next level, man. And not have it over in fucking Newport. Excuse my language, but Newport is not Cincinnati. They're reporting from bars in Newport. Why you go to Newport? If you're gonna do any sports reporting with the fans, you should do that on this side of the river, man. On this side, you got this whole tax-supported stadium, and you know, one question I need to ask Alicia Reese is, and this is going to be interesting, is that, what about the stadium? Like, I know she was talking about renegotiating the contract, and there was even some talk about whether the Bengals will stay or go, and now the Bengals in the Super Bowl. So how do you feel about the whole renegotiating of the taxpayer contract with the Bengals, and perhaps the Bengals might leave now? Ooh, hot topic, right? Hot topic. I don't know. I'm going to reach out to Alicia this morning and see if we can't get her on, and I'll ask her that this morning. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Okay, so I'll text her in here in a little bit, and I'll see if she's available this morning. If anybody knows Alicia, hit her up on Facebook or whatever and say, hey, Nate would love to get your thoughts about maybe an update on what's going on with that stadium. I think it'd be a great idea. Lemmy writes, oh, this is great news. Black-owned bar Game Time in Mount Healthy got game ball from Zach Taylor last night at 11. Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. Way to go. See, now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. I'm happy to hear that. I haven't been out there, but I know I've seen the images on, like, I think Instagram. It looks like a great place. Looks like a great place. Didn't they shoot a music video out there recently? Yeah, some people that I'm kind of know, I think we're behind that. Great props to them. Folks with Power Me Media, I think it was. Props to them. Let me see. Yeah, that's dope. That's super dope. Great. Got to go to the Black-owned establishments too. Great. I love that. Great. Pat writes, they received the game ball. Great to hear. Props to the Bengals. Somebody's thinking, right? Somebody's thinking, like, okay, we got to do this the right way. You can't have a relationship with the Black-owned brand and then you giving out game balls and you don't go no Black-owned restaurants. It's just a no-brainer. I mean, it's fair is fair, right is right. Got to do it right. That's it. That's all everybody's asking for. Let Game Time get some shine too. You know what I'm saying? That's big. You can go out there and if it was me, I'd encase it in some kind of like protective covering and put it on display so people could take pictures with it. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Oh, man. Like, on a scale from 1 to 10, how surprised am I that we're here? I got to be honest with you. It's been a slow burn. But nobody could project this at the beginning of the season. Nobody saw this coming. We were as good just to get into the playoffs. And then once we got to the playoffs, we were just looking for one playoff win. And then it's like you just put one foot in front of the other and you just got to keep on going. Nowhere to go but up. And now they are where they are. So, again, I'll say it should be a lot of fun. What are some of the ways that we can come up with, so the success of the Bengals can be enjoyed by more people in Cincinnati? I'm talking about like enjoying in terms of dollars. Hey, when Joe underthrew that ball, I thought the fix was in. When he underthrew that ball, and again, it's amazing how your mind works. Like, you can really get caught up in thinking the same way. Like, here we go again. I knew it. Oh, I knew they was going to have a Gilligan moment. You can really get caught up with that, right? But I'll be honest with you, I was in and out. I missed some parts of the game because I was getting ready for Melanin Insights, and I was working on another project that I'm struggling with. And I missed some of it, but I could hear the family that was upstairs, and they, their voices were rising and falling with the rise and fall of the Bengals' success during the game. And I went back upstairs. I watched the game a little bit, and I was just amazed. I'm like, well, wait a minute. They got the ball? Wait a minute. They're moving the chains in overtime? Like, wait a minute. This is interesting. When Patrick Mahomes, when the Chiefs got the ball on offense, I thought, here we go. I thought they were going to go down and at least get a field goal. I wasn't certain they were going to get a touchdown because the Bengals defense seems like it was different in the second half. But I thought they were going to get a field goal out of it. They didn't get anything. Props to the Bengals defense. Everybody's talking about the offense and Joe Burrow and all the weapons, but you got to give props to the defense, man, and the special teams. It's not just McPherson. It's the line. It's the snap holder. It's the whole team. Everybody on the team. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on the team plays a part. The trainers, everybody plays a part. Everybody has to be the GOAT in their position. That's the attitude you got to have in sports and really with any team. Be the GOAT at what you do. And you got a whole team full of GOATs, you can't lose. Or at the phase, I say it this way, you can always lose because the other team might be doing the same thing, but you give yourself a good shot at winning. Put it that way. Yeah. Nadir predicted it. Did he? Didn't know that. Kevin Wright's been saying it for years. I knew I was right. LAX plane ticket, sleeping bag, Skid Row. I'm on my way. Who day? How many people are planning to go to the Super Bowl? I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event that they could never get back within your lifetime. How many people are planning on going to the Super Bowl? To get your thoughts on that. Crystal Rice, good morning. Lynn Rice, can we open up the stadium for the Super Bowl? They should. They should. If they're not already thinking about that, then they're not winning. They're not thinking big. They're not already thinking about that right now. They're not thinking big. Hold on one second here because I want to see if we can get. I want to see if she's available. I know she's a very busy woman. Let me text her right now. Hold on one second. I can't see shit. I'm texting Alicia Reese. Hold on. My spelling was terrible in it because obviously I'm on the air here. Y'all watch me. For whatever reason, it makes texting so much more damn difficult. So I'm texting, pressing the wrong damn buttons with these fat fingers. So it is what it is. Victor writes, the Bengals win the Super Bowl. They got a good shot. They got as good a shot as the LA Rams. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an uphill battle. We'll see. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. If they win, that'll be great for the city. You know, that gives more visibility to the city. And as I've been telling you for months and months and years now, way before the Bengals even started the playoff run, Cincinnati is on the come up. This is just a part of it. Cincinnati is on the come up in a lot of really interesting and really cool ways. And the success of the Bengals is just a part of it. I didn't foresee this. I was looking at some other factors, but I'll say it again. 10, 15 years down the line, Cincinnati is going to be one of those it cities. It's going to be one of those it cities, period. And I'm thinking in terms of like a new Mecca for black folks. Keep watching. Deshaun writes, who day, all day. Okay. With you on that. Get it all in. Enjoy all of this. We was there for Game Time Bar when a game ball from Zach Taylor at 11 p.m. last night. Congrats, Miss Karen. She putting packages together to go to the Super Bowl, travel by Karen. Is that right? Okay. All right. You were there? Oh, okay. Dang, that's cool, Lemmy. That's exciting. That's exciting. I'm glad they brought the game ball to the black-owned establishment. Says a lot, man. Says a lot, man. Okay. So Alicia says she'll give us a call here in about 10 minutes. Alicia Reese. Got one question I want to ask her, and then we'll talk to Bengals a little bit. Talk about the stadium. Because again, we just talked to her last week. I thought it was an excellent idea. Open up the stadium. The downside, I think, is going to affect the local bars. Because the local bars are all going to have Super Bowl specials and things like that. But like, if you're a hardcore fan, would you rather go to a local bar and party with fans or go to the stadium? I'd rather go to the stadium, right? So we'll see. TNT writes, I love that commercial with the white woman laughing hysterically. And then it says Super Bowl 2/13/22. Who will have the last laugh? I haven't seen that yet. Nakia writes, good morning, everyone. Who day? What I take, and I do this, I'm a very positive thinking person, but what I take from the Bengals is that anything is possible. Like the Bengals just did something that people think is impossible. There's people out there who thought the Bengals would never go to the Super Bowl, ever. They're never going to do it. Never. I don't want to hear it. Never going to happen. And they just pulled it off. So if the Bengals can do that, then what can you do? What can we do? That's how I look at it. Good morning, my great people. Get to the bag. You can use this win for inspiration. When they say you can't win at what you choose, say it's all good. It is us. I didn't even read that beforehand, Kevin, but great minds think alike, brother. I'm with you 100%. That's what I take from it. Avery's in the house. What's up? What's up, man? You changed the avatar up, huh? What's up, Avery? That's OG right there. Original OG from the Spreaker Chop Shop. Speaking of Spreaker, I got to say what up to my Spreaker people this morning. Got to say what's up to you. Ray writes, good risings all. Sharp writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. It's a new week, Who Day Monday. What did the organization give Zachary that they didn't give Marvin? I don't know. Fox writes, rising, Sean, your stars. At Nathan, anytime I can shout out my beautiful twin sister, I will and do. She was the first female Bengal in the state of Ohio at 12 to win a championship in an all-boy league, coming off a softball championship and arthroscopy knee surgery, and another softball championship after that. Never done before or since. Is that right? Okay, cool. Props to her. Yeah, I asked the question. Anybody, the Bengals are winning. They won the ANC championship. They got a shot at the Super Bowl championship. I'm just wondering, is there anybody in the audience, that's ever won a championship, maybe a state title in sports or something like that? Maybe you played whatever sport was, high school, college. I'm just curious who's in the audience. Share your experience with me. Sharp writes, Cosby already been through enough. What's Showtime's issue with Cosby? Oh, damn. Sharp, don't fall into that, man. Now, listen, Showtime is in the business of getting people to go to Showtime. That's it. People out here acting like they got this whole personal vendetta against Cosby. Bill Cosby gets it like everybody else gets it. There's a brand new documentary that's out. And it's like an expose on Cosby, and really it's supposed to be like I haven't watched it, but it's supposed to be like a conversation about Cosby and in the black community. And apparently we haven't talked about Cosby enough, and apparently they haven't listened to a lot of talk radio or digital talk radio, because we've been talking about Cosby like crazy. But this is Sharp. What up, Sharp? He's that's a screenshot from Spreaker. He posted this at 8:43 a.m. this morning. Cosby already been through enough. What's Showtime's issue with Cosby? I don't think they got an issue with him. Listen, Sharp and all the other Cosby apologists out there. And if you're not a Cosby apologist, Sharp, then okay. But you got too many people out there steadily blocking and apologizing for Bill Cosby. Let's take this from the top, and I ain't gonna get super deep into it unless I have to. But Bill Cosby did this to himself. Nobody did this to Bill Cosby. He did this to himself. Bill Cosby was convicted, and he got off on a technicality, but he was convicted on the merits of the evidence and his own actions. Now, the prosecutors, they didn't abide by a previous agreement with the previous prosecutor on the case, right? But you people out there didn't change the whole history. Bill Cosby ain't never been convicted of nothing. No, Bill Cosby was convicted of something. He got out on it, and he did time. And he got out on a technicality. He didn't get out because they presented some evidence that said that he was innocent. He got out because the prosecution did not abide by a deal that the previous prosecutor had signed on with. And the deal is in return for Bill Cosby giving truthful testimony during the civil trial, the prosecutor agreed that no matter what he said in the civil trial, they wouldn't take that information and go after him criminally. Okay? Bill Cosby had a oral agreement, a verbal agreement with the prosecutor. Well, that prosecutor left, a new prosecutor came in, and he said, screw that, buddy. Looks to me like we got us a serial offender. We're going after you. That's why Bill Cosby got out. So stop it. It's not about the fact they want to bring down a black man because there'll be easier targets. Bill Cosby was doing some strange stuff. Period. He got caught up with it. So I saw a video within the last 24 hours of Dr. Boyce Watkins, and he was cussing. They need to leave him alone. He's 80 years old. He should never went to jail. I'm like, so basically you can drug and rape people and not go to jail because you're 80? I don't care how old you are. If you do the crime, you do the time, period. Simple as that. All these excuses. They need to leave Bill Cosby alone. If you decide you want to become a celebrity and you get all the good things that come with celebrity, right? All the good things, all the great things of being well known and being a celebrity. Well, the pendulum swings to the other side. And when you do something crazy and strange like he did, and criminal and abusive and traumatizing, you're going to get that word. They're going to do Showtime specials with you, about you. That just comes with the territory. So I don't have no sympathy for Bill Cosby at all. I don't understand why anybody has sympathy for Bill Cosby. And he turned his back on the black community. Running around here sounding like Ben Carson. I just don't get it. He gets what he gets, Sharp, period. Simple as that. Now, I haven't seen the documentary. I can't tell you whether it's fair or not. But the fact that they're making a documentary, okay. People make documentary about things that they think, has that sizzle factor, right? That has that fact, that element to it that they think is going to get a lot of attention. That's the reason why they're doing a documentary. Simple as that. And Felicia Rashad can kiss my ass too. Didi writes, who they good people? It's going to be like that all morning. Marche writes, who they? Aaliyah writes, good morning, all. Let me write, Travel by Karen packages. Travel by Karen planning Super Bowl packages now. Oh, man, I hope I seem like it's going to be profitable. I don't have it like that. I don't have it like that to travel to the Super Bowl right now. So we won't be going, or I won't be going. But for those who do, let me know. Have some fun. If you go and you're from Cincinnati, you got to document the whole thing. Get yourself a little camera or your phone or whatever and have fun with it. Victoria writes, Andrew Whitworth with the Rams is bittersweet. Thanks, Joe Mixon. He said he would work on the uniforms last season. Is that right? I told you I'm not the only ones. You gotta look good if you want to play good. Kevin writes, Bill Cosby deserves to eat a pill. I prefer money over shooter. Yeah, Money McPherson. I like that. Because it's gonna give him, his success on the field is gonna lead to the bag. He'll probably sign one of like the biggest contracts of a kicker in the NFL history, right? Yeah, he's like a weapon out there. Weapon X. David writes, good morning, Nate the Choppers. Good morning to you. I called them the comeback kids earlier in the season. That's Geneva. Hey, good morning, Geneva. Kevin writes, oh, shoot, Fame gonna eat his words today. Nope, dang. I gave him a way out, man, to take the high road, but no. He did not do it. Let me write. He talked all that ish about Zach for weeks and weeks and weeks. Dead wrong. A team, Burrow, Chase, Mixon, McPherson, and the defense. Burrow, Chase. You gotta put them. You gotta put T. Higgins in there. They all stepped up. Apple. I was pissed at the cornerback Apple or safety. I can't remember which position he plays. He had that interception and just went through his hands, but it happens sometimes. But overall, they walked out with a win. I mean, like I told you, as that final drive in overtime, and I'm like, wait a minute. They're driving the ball. Like, wait a minute. They're in field goal range. Wait a minute. They're really in field goal range. Wait a minute. They're really, really, really in field goal range. Wait a minute. That's McPherson coming out here. Goes straight to the uprights. I'm like, this is crazy. This don't make any sense, but we shall see what happens. I mean, at this point, go big or go home. Shoot for that Super. They're shooting for the Super Bowl. I love seeing that in the post-game conference interviews. If you go on YouTube, they got all these videos where they take you into the locker room. You can see all of everything, not everything. You see a lot of what they talked about and stuff like that. And what I thought was cool is player by player, they all said the same thing. They all said, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Over and over and over again. I love that. We ain't done yet. We got one more game. I'm like, what? Shoot, I love this attitude. Brent writes, good morning, Nathan Chopper. Checking in from Dallas, Texas. Good to see you. Victor writes, can we talk about how no black head coaches were hired this past week? Josh McDaniels gets his second chance at another head coaching job, but no Todd Bowles. Leslie Frazier hires. Shaking my head. Well, the one thing that's consistent, and you're going to see this year after year after year, is that no matter what the team is that wins the conference championships or the Lombardi Trophy, the Super Bowl, when the ownership comes up in there, and the ownership, like the team president or CEO or the owner or whatever, sometimes it's like a family trust that owns the team or whatever, ain't no diversity. They're always white. And until the NFL has diversity at the very top, that means ownership, then black coaches are going to continue to be overlooked. And it just is what it is. That's the ugly truth of it. That's the ugly truth of it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about Kaepernick coming back. If you want Kaepernick to have gotten a chance, then what you need is at least one or two teams that are majority owned, black owned. I won't say minority, that are black owned, consciously black owned, right? Who, when a situation happens with a player like, I just talked about him. The brother was taking a knee, then they can still have a landing spot. But what happens is there's no diversity with ownership, and they can conspire and collude to blackball certain players. Just tell the GM he ain't coming here. And that's what they did. So as much as the Bengal fans are loving the NFL still got a long way to go, man. A long way to go. Jared writes, unless she's breaking some court orders, she can do what she wants. Right. Kevin writes, Nathan Ivey, you ain't gonna, I had to call him out on it. Dale writes, D. Barnes got beat up brutally. Makes me think you condone violence against women. I don't know what woman did whatever she did to Fame, but he clearly has a problem with women. Brandy writes, who day morning? Charles writes, D. Barnes has spent all that settlement money, and she is looking at what his ex-wife got. She might be. I think the payout is over with at this point. And even though she's probably dealing with the long-term effects of it. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's traumatizing. She couldn't, you get brutally beat up by some strange dude, just some stranger. And like I said, you ain't never heard about him coming to Ice Cube like that. You ain't never heard about none of the members of NWA coming to Ice Cube like that. And he was roasting the ass like marshmallows back in the day. Marshmallows. Dr. Dre wouldn't even get into his brain to come at Ice Cube like that. But you're going to go with a woman like that? I think it's weakness. That's what I think. I think it's straight up weak. If I got a problem with a man, I'll let that man know. I'm not going to project it onto somebody else, especially not a female. What kind of man does that? Dr. Dre. Brent writes, so this is the other part of the conversation. You know, I have no problem with, and we'll probably have more conversation about D Barnes and should Dr. Dre be a part of halftime show. I guarantee you, because it's a part of his history. It's a part of his past. It's a part of his story. And so when the NFL decided they was going to get Dr. Dre to do this, it comes with the territory. You're going to have to deal with these conversations. It is what it is. F him as lunch, I do you. Richard writes, Fame, I was with you for a minute. Nakia writes, watch out, Nathan, he's talking fast. Crystal writes, who was he talking about? You are dead wrong, Fame. You was dead wrong. Micah writes, Fame, there's no time limit on trauma. You're the asshole. Nakia writes, yes, keep your hands to yourself. Yeah, I've got no problem with D Barnes or any other victim, that when the person that victimized you is like getting all this attention, it's halftime Super Bowl, winning Grammy Awards or whatever, and you get in your feelings and you want to let the world know about what they did to you again, I got no problem with it. Go right ahead. I got no problem with it. You earn that. Let me see. Dale writes, Fame, you should be concerned about the slight of a black woman in a violent situation. Crystal writes, sheesh. Carmelita writes, but she's not the only one. He's a serial abuser, right? That's a weakness right now. There's some men who, it don't matter, male, female, whatever, they're going to get it cracking. They're just going to get violent. Just violent people. But then you got some weak-ass men that'll they'll get physical with a woman, but they would never do that with a man. Especially not with a man who they think could challenge them physically. You know what I'm saying? They would never do that. Never even think about it. I think it's weakness. Because I remember the whole story. That was for my generation. She didn't do nothing wrong. She did an interview with Ice Cube and she asked some questions. And NWA got in their feelings because Ice Cube was roasting their ass lyrically like s'mores. Ice Cube was making s'mores out of NWA. And it was big bad NWA. Nickel, no attitude, with attitude and all this. They diss and we from the streets. And Ice Cube roasted all of them. All of them. And they just couldn't handle it. And Dr. Dre couldn't handle it, so he took it out on her. Beat her up pretty badly. Not a good thing. Let me see. You need a man with sensitivity. A man like me. Nakia, right? Starting ish as usual. Yeah, and I appreciate it. You got to have some ish starters. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Kamiki writes, I'm late to the convo, but who day? Greg writes, I see Dr. Dre assaulted D Barnes at a rap party. I believe Dr. Dre's ex-wife also had allegations versus Dr. Dre. That's why I thought it might have been his ex. I think Michelle A said that he got physical with her too. He's a serial abuser. He's just one of them dudes that had put his hands on a woman. Now, you don't hear about no stories about him doing that with no men, though, do you? No, you don't. No, you don't. Anthony writes, I mean, to me, Dr. Dre's a sucker for that. He's a musical genius. He's an entrepreneur. He's a billionaire or nearly a billionaire, and all that stuff is great on some levels. But it don't mean that you're not a soft as hell inside to put your hands on a woman like that. Pamela writes, he said his alarm card to call in with that mess. He probably did. He's always welcome, though. You know, Fame is one of us. You know, we just got to deal with him. You know what I'm saying? It comes with the territory. I like it that way. I know I will use him as a reference for Bet. Oh yeah, definitely. Chopper support choppers. Support him 100% in anything he does. Same thing with Drop or anybody else in the chop shop. John writes, I texted my brother Joe last night and told him that he's now my second favorite Joe. Is that right? TNT writes, punk ass. You talking about fame? Oh man. Zaria, she writes, yes. Good morning, Zaria. Good to see you. Okay, everybody looking good with these avatars. Okay. Deshaun writes, straight facts. Celebrity worship is sickening. It is. It is. And then social media, Instagram, it just makes access to celebrity worship even worse. Even worse. Like that's what the problem was with a lot of these big celebrities, especially when you got women. When women get victimized by powerful men in our society, it's very easy to turn your back. It's very easy for our society to turn a blind eye. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. When it's black women, it's even easier. It's even easier. It's just something, I mean, we can get all into it, but when powerful men abuse women, they get away with it. They get away with it. And people make excuses. Why was you there? Why was you in his room? Why'd you take a drink? You knew he was married. I mean, just because, you living on the edge and you hanging out with a married dude don't mean you deserve to be raped. That's two completely different things. Same thing with R. Kelly. Now, I've been saying this for 10, 15 years. Everybody else just got hip to it. I stopped effing with R. Kelly when I was in college. As soon as I saw that, I was done. I was done. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby ticked me off in two ways. When he went on that 2-3 year rant against black people and why'd you steal the pound cake? And where's your mama? Sounding like Ben Carson. I was done with him then. I was done. And then when the allegations started to come out more and more and more, some of that stuff was just people trying to pile on and make some money. It was nothing to it. But the legitimate ones, I'm sitting here like, damn, Bill Cosby talking all this ish about criminality and morality, and here you are drugging and raping women. I was done. I was done. I don't need the Cosby Show in my life. It's irrelevant to me. I don't need R. Kelly's music. It's irrelevant. There's too many artists out here, man. I'll turn on something else. But that's just me. Let's go to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
What up,
Who
Kev?
they think don't beat them Bengals. I've been having fun, Nate. I'm a king trash talker. It is who I am. And I ain't gonna lie. The neighbor up the street been getting the business. My buddy that's helping me to do the house been getting the business. Anybody got anything to say? Been getting the business. I'm enjoying this, man. I'm enjoying this. But people are talking about betting on the game, man. Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. $5,000 for a ticket. Yeah, okay, I get it. Once in a lifetime. Actually, it's 3 times in a lifetime. I think I put that in the chat. It's 3 times in my lifetime. So, and I ain't even from here, so I know it's 3 times in somebody else's life as well. But I think we go back kind of to what you said though. At the beginning of all of this, man. What do we, as the people in the chop shop, get from the Bengals being Super Bowl champs? And if the answer is it ain't gonna get you a penny to get to your kids or to pass on as wealth, man, let's say who they are there and enjoy all of that while we figure out ways for us to either capitalize on that or capitalize on something else. Get the bag, man. Get the bag. Nate, they're coming after woodwork, bro. The people like a gentleman who was recently on the line with you are coming out of the woodwork, bro. Them bandwagon jumpers, bro. Get off. I'm kicking them on their fingertips like, get off. We ain't got no room on the bus no more. Y'all ain't allowed in. TikTok, the game is locked. Nobody else can play. But man, who they, Nate? Who they? What you think, man?
I've been saying what I think, man. I think enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I didn't get a chance to sign up and want to make sure that it is not too late for the investment club.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
No, we're just getting started, bro. I'm just taking people's names who are interested, and I'll be in contact. I've got a meeting set up with a CPA next Sunday.
Fantastic. I'll send something to the Nathan Flows for sure. Nathan Flows at Gmail, right?
Yep. I'll put it on the screen again so everybody who's interested can be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. Let's get this bag. I love seeing them hold up those trophies and stuff every day. A family member of mine said, "Uncle," this is one of my nieces and nephews, right? Said, "Uncle Kevin, you want to go?" I said, "It's $5,000. I'll take out a loan to go." I said, "No, I won't do that." I said, "Well, we can make a pact. The pact is that we get the wherewithal that if somebody says that the ticket's $5,000, we can say act like it's $5 and go ahead and go. You know, let's build that kind of wealth. Why not? Why not? Why not us? Oh, my bad. It is us. It is us. Who they? Let's get it. Be blessed, Russ. Stay safe.
Yeah, and thanks for your support, brother. I appreciate you. That's Kev on the cell. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Because life is so heavy with COVID and school closings and work and family responsibilities and flat tires and cold weather and ice and all kind of shit. Speaking of which, man, now you go your whole life perfect driving. And within the last couple of years, I've had 2 fender benders. I'm trying to get on my street over the weekend. I slide into a neighbor's car. I hear a crunch and everything. I'm like, when you hear that crunch and it's your fault, the only thing you start thinking is what? My insurance rates are going up. I'm like, oh, dear Lord, I can't afford this. All right. Trying to get into my street, slid backwards, heard a crunch. I'm like, oh no. I get out and look. Our car definitely took some damage, so we'll have to take care of that. I look at the other car. I'm like, oh, God, I see like what appeared to be a lot of scratches. This was our neighbor, actually. Some good folks live across the street. And nobody was on the street whatsoever. I could have just as easily as just like drove as I did. I was able to maneuver, got myself into the driveway. I could have played it off. Nobody had to know, right? But I don't live like that. I had to keep it real. Knocked on the door. Let them know. Listen, here's what happened. Come take a look at it. I took photographs. They took the dude came outside. He took photographs and fully expecting to, do what we got to do. That's why you have insurance. And dude looked at it and was like, I don't really see a big problem here, man. I think we're good. I told dude, I'm like, look, you're saying that now, but you might see it in a different light tomorrow in a week or so, whatever. We ride across the street. Let us know. We'll take care of it, right? It's that good karma right there. Plus, they're good neighbors. You got good neighbors, you got to be a good neighbor. But, man, when I heard that crunch, I'm like, oh, Lord, what did I do? Oh, no. I'm just thinking about my insurance premiums, my insurance rates going up, right? So far, no issues. So we'll see what happens. I told the wife I'm expecting to knock on the door. And again, I have no problem with it. You make mistakes, you have accidents, you got to do what you got to do. It is what it is. Vernon writes, does anybody know that black bar that the head coach was at? I think it was called Game Time. Tiffany writes, yeah, let the bars make their money. If people go to Paul Brown Stadium, they aren't going to go to the bars afterward. They spend all their drinking money at Paul Brown Stadium. Right. That's the only issue is that you're going to take away from the local bars, but like you're going to have some people that are just going to go to their favorite watering hole. Like that's their favorite bar, their favorite seat at the bar. It's nice and cozy. They like the bartenders. They like the servers. They like the ambiance. They like the chicken fingers or whatever and fries. They're going to go where they're going to go no matter what. But I think they should have the option. Carla writes different place. Good morning, Carla. Brian's in the house. He writes morning, hashtag GSW, as in Golden State Warriors, hashtag Who Day. Amina's in the house. She writes good morning, Who Day. JC Young writes, the last drive for the field goal, I was convinced they were going to bobble it instead of just spiking the ball and taking the kick sooner. Yeah, because that's what's happened in the past, and it's hard to shake. Once you get an opinion about something, it's hard to shake it, right? But what I would take from the Bengals is what I take, and I've been saying. One, you can change your life in a year. Look at what the Bengals did. They changed everything in a year. A year ago, they was like the number one pick. Now they're going to the Super Bowl. Two, teamwork makes the dream work. When you got a team and everybody's the GOAT at their job and y'all all push in the right direction, you can make incredible things happen. You can do incredible things with a good team. And three, anything is possible. Anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? The Bengals didn't just luck up and do that. They've been working hard. Coaches, staff, players, they've been working hard with one goal, drafting well with one goal, and it worked for them. So props, game balls to all of them. Maurice writes, Bengals football fans believed. Buy tickets for the hope. All fans hope that their team ends up in the championship. Non-fans don't have the hope. All right, getting a call here. I think this is Alicia Reese. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning. Oh, man. Who day? I've had no sleep.
Is that right?
The phones are jumping.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yes. It's a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity, especially at a time where, we've gotten a lot of bad news. We needed some good news. We've got great news. We're all over national media right now. People call me from all over. I'm getting cousins that I hadn't heard from in years hitting me up, screaming "Who Dey" from other cities and states.
So what does that mean now? Because last week we talked about Paul Brown Stadium. So now they got 2 weeks. Is that plan still in the works? Is that something that you're going to try to push from the county side to open up Paul Brown Stadium during the Super Bowl? Or is that dead? Or where is that at?
But no, nothing's dead. Everything's on the table. I called the mayor this morning. We're going to meet. Also going to meet with the Bengals. And, I'm trying to, see what we can do for the fans. This is we gotta think big. We can't go small. And that's what the team has said. Joe Burrow said, we no more walking around here like we the bad news bears now. This is not what, why not us? This is us. And we got to think big and we got to do some big things. So I'm pushing, obviously, we've got to bring all the people to the table. So I put a call in trying to get a meeting with the Bengals. Hope to get that done this week. Meeting with the mayor. We're going to get together. I think he's on his way back from Kansas City. So I've already talked to him to get together. I've also reached out to Sheriff McGuffey. She said the sheriffs are on board. Let's rock. So we're trying to put all the pieces together. But also looking at this even from a holistic perspective. LA is expensive. A lot of people don't get a chance to go out there. If it was Atlanta, it would have been a takeover. If it would have been that year that the Super Bowl was in Atlanta. But it's in LA, very expensive. Some people will get to go, some people won't. So how do we create almost like a Super Bowl of the Midwest? Right here where people would say, well, I can't get to LA, but I'll drive to Cincinnati. I'll get a room. Let's have a Super Bowl weekend, an unofficial Super Bowl weekend, if you will, right here in Cincinnati. So that's the idea that I'm throwing out there in terms of let's try to get our mindset in that direction and look at, from the watch party to what's happening that whole weekend that could draw people here, for the celebration. And so that's what we're looking at. So everything's on the table. We're looking at, they obviously looking at parades. We're looking at what can we do to make this the Super Bowl, unofficial Super Bowl of Midwest. So that's where we're going. As you can imagine, we're making calls. And Miss Karen last night I saw at game time, I believe out there at Mount Healthy. First, you saw the coach just get to town and went to a black-owned establishment and presented the ball. I mean, it's a new day now, and we got to think like that. We can't come with the same ideas we've had all the time. When we was losing, we got to come with the ideas now, new ideas of winners. So that's what I'm gonna try to convey, and I'm gonna work as hard as I can and try to bring the pieces together. And yeah, that's where we at. That's what I'm doing. I'm on the phones trying to move this along.
What does this mean? Because I can't think of anybody better to ask this question. I know you've been a part of tourism in Ohio, so you understand this better than a lot of people do. So what does this mean potentially for the city, for the region, for the state in terms of the Bengals being in the Super Bowl? And what if they win the Super Bowl? How would that impact tourism in Cincinnati, in Ohio?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm going to say we're going to win. I was on your show, and I told you I felt we were going to win this thing. And people said, you're crazy. We won. I think we're going to win the Super Bowl. It has a huge impact. Number one, if you turn on, all the national media is now talking about Cincinnati and the Cincinnati Bengals. National media is trying to run to our town, do stories about what do we have going on here in Cincinnati. So just from a marketing standpoint. And so we've got to be ready to capitalize on this. Yes, the Bengals and everything, but we got to have a package. You come here on any given weekend. We got to market other things that we have so people say we got to come back. This is a chance to say that, hey, we got the music festival going to come back this year, y'all. If you hadn't heard about it, you might want to book your room for it. We got a new Black Music Walk of Fame that's getting ready to open up, be world class, nothing like it in the country. We got to take this opportunity and we start, while you're talking about Cincinnati, we putting out all of the different reasons why you need to come here and book Cincinnati. You got people, Russell Wilson, for example. And I love Russell Wilson. I knew he was born in Cincinnati, but not many people did. But now with the Cincinnati Bengals, he jumped up. Hey, I was born at Christ Hospital. Come on, we got to capitalize on that. All of the talent that we got here from Cincinnati. So it helps us from that perspective if we take advantage of it. Now is the time. And that's why I'm saying we got to do more than what we do for, we have big festivals. We got the Oktoberfest, and, we do those type of festivals and everybody's down. That's cool. But we're talking about the Super Bowl 31 years. Now, how do we package it? How do we get people who won't get to California, can't make California, come to Cincinnati? We going to have it like we got an unofficial Super Bowl. That's the kind of mindset that we have to have. And so that's what I'm going to be pushing. And I appreciate all the support and love that people been calling. I just want you to know, when you're coming with something different, sometimes it's a little tough. But this is a chance. This is our moment. This is a chance for us to turn the corner of being an afterthought to now the first thought. We went from everybody in Vegas voting against us. And I'm not talking about the Raiders. I'm talking about, how they say the bets are on in Vegas. Everybody voting against us to now everybody rooting for us. And so that's where the city has to wrap our arms around it. One thing, like I said, they just got back. They tired. And the coach say, nah, I'm going to Mount Healthy. I'm coming to the hood. I'm coming with the community. I mean, come on. If they're doing it with the coach and they're doing their part on the field, we got to do our part and make sure that everybody is brought together and everybody can participate and benefit. Participate and benefit. And so that's what I think we should be focusing on from a tourism perspective. And that's what I'm going to be pitching and trying to get moving forward. I'm on the phones. I'm trying to get a meeting set up with the powers that be. Like I said, I talked to Sheriff McGuffey because one of the things they said was safety. She said, we on board. And I talked to the mayor. The mayor said, let's try to make something happen. So, I think everybody is moving in that direction, but we got to have a vision. And just like Joe Burrow said, get it out of your heads, this second class, back in a, we just the bad news bears trying to make it. And let's get into put our heads up high, walk with our back straight. Say we big time. We can handle big time things because we come up with big time ideas. And that's how I try to operate. And I hope that we're able to be able to think that way and to be able to produce that way because our team deserves it.
Hey, Lisa.
And the fans deserve it.
Hey, Alicia, speaking with Alicia Reese, Hamilton County Commissioner. Just one last quick question. I thought about this.
Yeah.
Has the success? So when you ran, I know you ran saying, "Look, I'm going to take another look at the Bengals deal," and a lot of people supported that. So has the success of the Bengals kind of changed your view on that? Do you feel the same way? How do you look at that now? How are you going to approach that now?
Well, let me first say that I've been a diehard Bengals fan before it was popular. I mean, for decades. I was going to games when they were pretty much giving away tickets. So as far as my diehardness and support of the Bengals has never wavered. Yeah. What we're looking at when you go into a business deal, you try to see how can you get, the best deal for your client. And for me, the client are people. And so I just think people at the table, we can work together. I'm going to be positive that we could get a positive deal. That's coming up 2026. That'll be in 2026. And we'll look at it. Of course, I've always said we're going to look at it. I mean, I've told them we're going to look at it. They know they're going to look at some things they want, some things we want. And when that time comes, we will, we'll have to negotiate. It's just like the NFL every year. They got to have a draft. And they're trying to make it, they're trying to get the strongest team. We went different. We got Joe Burrow. We went and got Jamar Chase. Well, some people thought maybe we should have went with not going with him, but go somewhere else. They said, no, we coming with a new situation so we can be strengthened with a new attitude. Mm-hmm. So you're always updating, and I'm going to continue to do that when that time comes. But yeah, I've never been like, I'm against the Bengals because everybody know you go back. I'm a diehard Bengals fan.
Yeah, I wasn't suggesting
back in the day.
No, I get it. It just seems like now with them winning, they're more valuable, right? They're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, their value is going to go up. They're going to be asking for some additional things probably, and that's the way. That's business. It's business. And so their value probably they're going to be asking for more, and they got value and. But at the same time, our value goes up as a county, and maybe we're bringing in more money, and maybe we got to look at the numbers, and we got to have the best deal. We got to look at the numbers and see what those numbers are, and how do we, work together and come up with a good deal. That's business.
Somebody has
people
a question.
have that every day in their businesses.
Somebody wants to know, and we talked this a little bit, Alicia. Like, I love the Powell Brown Stadium idea. I love it. But the question came up: how will that affect the downtown bars? Like, if the fans and the faithful. I mean,
well, you got to look at the reason we have teams and stadiums is because we said if we have teams and stadiums, it brings more people downtown. That's one of the premise and one of the selling points of why do we have more. Why would we want to build these stadiums, and why would we want to have teams? There's a thing called game days. When we played Las Vegas, that game was in Cincinnati because we had a better record than Las Vegas. So it became a home game. We sold it out, over 60,000 people. And the bars and the restaurants was rocking, both in the city and out in the suburbs. So, coming from a tourism background, understanding, bringing it, that's why we bring conventions. The more people you bring, the more money is spent. And so you don't have just a little small group to choose from. You got a larger group. The majority of the people, they go in, they get a dinner, they book dinner. After the game is over, they got to get out of the stadium. And most of them, they go down and they go into the bars and the restaurants. So from a convention standpoint, and data has shown us that the more people you bring and the more activity and excitement, the more money people make. And so, that's what we're trying. That's the reason we have teams. Why do we have teams? Why do we have stadiums? Why would the public funds be interested in that? Because they said if you build all this stuff, and you bring all these people and you got a winning team, you're going to bring more people, and more people means more money and more opportunity for bars and restaurants.
Well, Alicia, thank you for your time, and let's stay connected. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you so much, Nathan. And who they? And first of all, let me say this before I go. Today, I want everybody to concentrate on being positive. We win stuff and we get rid of it so fast. We do one thing. This was not easy. 31 years. So today is not about what about the Bengal contract that's going to be down the road in 2026. Today is not about this or that. Today, let's all take some pride today. I know we all got our own problems and situations, but my God, let's take a minute. Let's get our heads up straight, get our back up straight, walk with our chest out, because it's who they when the whole world was saying, you know, we couldn't do it. And so let's have some joy in that. And it's been great for me to see all walks of life with the orange and black on one message of who they rooting for one team. So I want to take I haven't been asleep. So I want to take the day to just I mean, this thing was like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So let's play the replay. Let's look at what we did to Kansas City. We went into Kansas City and we ate them for lunch. Even the mascot, when we made that kick, look at the video. The mascot fell out.
I saw that he fell on his back. It was hilarious.
He fell out. I don't think he knew what happened. He didn't mean to do that, but it's on video. He done fell out. We done went to Kansas City and ate them for lunch. So let's have some pride in that. We number one. We the best. As DJ Khaled would say, that's all I'm playing today is DJ Khaled. We the best. We the best. All we do is win. That's my motto today. And then we'll get back to the other business tomorrow and the rest of the week. So
I'm with it.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yep. Thank you so much. That's Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese. I just had to ask that question. It was top of mind. And I want to be one of the first people to ask. I'm sure other people's will. Todd Rice, don't get it all in y'all feelings. They haven't won. Come on, Todd. You have only one winning team in the NFL, Steelers, all day, yo. You can never hate on the success of the Steelers and what their coach has done, Tomlin. But it's the Bengals time right now, bro. But good morning to you, Todd, on YouTube. Glad you're here. Look at the crown, right? Your father is weak and you are strong. Prove your strength to the Lord Satan by killing him and drinking his blood. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but all right, man. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Who am I speaking with?
Thank you. This is Chris.
Hey, what up, Chris? Good morning.
Good morning. Listening in on all day. A couple things I want to point out to you. But as far as what Ms. Reese was saying, if we're looking into the future, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if we're looking into the future, 2026 they're gonna come up with a new deal. I highly suggest them get a dome, because why is it out in LA? One, because they got a new dome. When it was in Atlanta, why they have it twice in 20 years? Why? Because it was in a new dome. If we got a dome, not only would it be for football, but it would be for the Final Four and the championship. It would be for wrestling. It would be for so many other things that what she's talking about can bring to Cincinnati. I'm a firm believer on that. And now's the time to where they can say that, because this is not just going to be 1 year. I mean, honestly, with the draft picks and the money that they have at the Bengals, they're going to recruit a line, because yet and still they don't have one. So that's one thing I think they're going to be focused on more in the draft this year, getting a better line that's going to actually, I'll say in the next 5 years, they're going to be contenders every year for the next 5 years. 100% believe that.
Okay.
But if they got a dome, that brings in so much more money year round, not just in February. I mean, are they afraid that they can't sell out? They can't sell out games at 80,000 with the Bengals fans. I mean, it's only another 20,000. She's talking about, when we sold out at Kansas City, that was people coming from miles around. That wasn't just Cincinnatians. That was people from up north Ohio, southern Kentucky, West Virginia. Bengals fans that are all around coming together. Which brings me to my point of what you said earlier. Why are they showing bars in Kentucky when we in Cincinnati? Because there are Bengals fans in Kentucky as well, and Newport as well. I mean, this is hop, skip, and a jump. And if you feel that I can't think of the right word. If you feel that way, well, when you fly out, or if anybody else feels that way, when you fly out to LA, make sure you fly out of Lunken and not come across the river to use our airport. I'm just saying. I mean, there's Bengal fans all around. There's bars. There's Bengal bars all around. It's not just in Kentucky. So if you feel that way, and I believe you said earlier in the year when the Reds were playing that Cincinnati would not bring home a championship until they do right by Judge Hunter.
God's people.
You remember saying that?
Yeah. God's people, yeah.
Yep. So I think, it's coming close. It's coming close. I honestly, Vegas has them at 4 points. They're giving the Rams 4 points right now. They're giving the Bengals 4 points. Have the Rams favored by 4. Rams can't play a full game. The Bengals can play at least three quarters. Rams only play 2. And our defense is a lot better than the Rams defense. I mean,
really?
They got set. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think our offense is better than the Rams offense. Overall, I think we're a better team. I believe so. Even because really, you got to look at the way, like you said it. If you listen to any one of the interviews all season long with the players after the game, and a reporter would try and ask them, how'd you feel about this? You know, Joe Burrow, you just threw for 425 yards. You know, how do you feel about that? Well, he didn't say how he felt about it. He said, I couldn't do it without my team. Couldn't do it on my line. Couldn't do it. And every other player, if they ask, how'd you feel about, you had 3 sacks, yada, yada. I couldn't do it without this part, without my team. It was that. And every reporter would try and get an individual to step up individually and say something about what they've done. And they've always said team first. And they kept going about team until they kept it was rare where it would probably be the third question of something personal, making it individualized. And then they would say I or me, but it's always team. It's always about the team. That's the whole difference about this team. And I've seen that from like week 2, week 3 of the interviews. And I'm listening in on all that, and it was always about a team, 100%. And I think the difference between that team, this team, and the Rams, that's another plus. I think, honestly, Bengals are going to win by 10.
Okay. All right, Chris, thanks for the flows, man. I appreciate it. Hope you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. That's Chris checking in. He said, look, if you're going to feel that way, then don't use our airport. It's called CVG, Cincinnati Airport. Just ask me in Kentucky. But I feel you there, man. I do. Good morning to you. Who can afford to charter a plane out of Lunken, right? Rams have a pretty good front 4. I don't know. We had to figure out all that stuff. I'll leave it to the sports talk show guys. But a dome, I think they're past that at this point. I think now it would cost hundreds of millions of dollars to do it. I'm not even sure if the structure is set up. Initially, I thought it should have been a dome for all the reasons that Chris said. I thought it'd been more for the money. But I had to ask Alicia that question, and I wanted to ask her today. I heard what she said about now's not the time for it. But just kind of looking ahead, like the Bengals appear to be more valuable now. They seem to be a better return on the investment now, right? So how do people look at that Bengals contract now? My guess is that if you ask most people, they like contract. I don't care about no contract. We're going to win the Super Bowl, right? That's just how we get swept up in the moment. But she said, look, it's a business deal. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to put her in a bad space. It's just something that was on my. I meant to ask her last week when she called in. It was on my dome to ask her then, and I lost it in the conversation, and then I remembered it again over the weekend, and just had to ask her, put it out there. I'm sure she'll be asked by other people as well. But looking at the time, that's about my time. I really appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. We'll chop it up on people, politics, and pleasure. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I'll go ahead and say it, Who Day. Remember our motto: winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. We'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, if I can get it out. And I'm out.